Yo, what is going on? You are tuned in to MassCtv. This is a special edition podcast of 28th And Jefferson. As you all can see, we have one of our other network hosts. We have Brother AC Noel tapped in with us.
What's happening, man?
Filling in for Shekinah. Unfortunately, our brother Josh Lipscomb, he couldn't be here tonight. He has a couple other things he already had on the book. So we just here, just kind of an impromptu podcast, just kind of celebrating and commemorating the life of Kobe Bean Bryant. A lot of you all know him as the Black Mamba. And we decided to bring in two of Nashville's elite coaches and trainers, Jamal Richardson and Jamal Malone.
What up?
As you all know, Jamal Richardson is not a stranger to the MassCtv family and the 28th and Jefferson podcast, as he has been here a couple of times. And Jamal Malone, this is his first time here on the podcast, being tapped in with us here at the studio. And so, man, we just want to just open it up, man. You two guys got anything y'all want to say? Introduce yourselves, anything?
Well, first and foremost, I want to send condolences, obviously, to the Bryant family and to all the families that was involved in the accident, the tragedy that took place yesterday. But we'd like to, again, be thankful to being here with you guys, 28th and Jefferson, MassCtv. Jamal Richardson again, representing all-around game basketball, and blessed to be around these brothers, blessed to be around my brother right here, Jamal Malone. Let him introduce himself and kind of just talk about himself a little bit.
Jamal Malone, AAG, all-around game basketball. It's an honor to be here. Like Jay Rich said, man, just huge condolences to the families that lost their lives in the tragic event that occurred yesterday. Kobe Bryant, was a idol of many of us growing up through the late 90s and 2000s playing the game of basketball, and the other families and that were in the helicopter as well, especially the children. We can't let that go forgotten, that children lost their lives on the way to the gym. Something that me and Maul do every day, pop up at the gym and get players better at the game of basketball, but especially children that love and enjoy playing the game. So yeah, man, I appreciate MassCtv and the fellows for inviting us out, man, to not only talk about basketball, but the great life of Kobe Bean Bryant, man.
Yeah, man. And soon as I woke up this morning, man, I'm gonna start it over. I had texted Zach this morning a couple of things, just like soon as I woke up. I was like, man, we got to talk about it, because he and I had a conversation based off of our scheduling from last year, how we not necessarily missed it, but we kind of fumbled the opportunity to talk about Nipsey while it was still fresh and on everybody's mind, because we were recording every other week, and so it happened if I'm correct, Zach, it happened, we were supposed to record that following week after, and so like too much time had passed, and it was just on my spirit, man, like, because it was a tough pill, man. This whole thing is a tough pill for me to swallow.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I do know about healing, and AC, you can probably speak to this, being that you go to therapy on a regular basis, but part of the healing process is actually just like talking about it.
Absolutely.
Especially when you are around people who feel the exact same way that you feel, and that are going through the same thing that you go through, and that can relate to you on every single aspect. And so the first thing this morning, once I finally got my eyes clear enough to see or whatever was, man, I texted Zach, and I was like, hey, man, we got to do a little impromptu. I know we're supposed to be recording on Wednesday, but we're supposed to have a guest on Wednesday, and I didn't think it would be fair to shortchange the guest, by all of us having such being so enamored with Kobe. But I also felt like just bringing him up in 5 or 7 minutes on the podcast on Wednesday would also shortchange him for trying to make sure that we still had 15 to 20 minutes to interview our guests. So, you know, Zach, thank you big much, man, for allowing us
Zach,
to jump in.
Appreciate you, man.
For sure.
To jump in the studio. And man, so let's just kick the ball around the table, man. Where was everybody at when they got the news? They see. Wait, we'll start with you, Jamal. We'll start with our guest first.
I was where I usually at, man. I was in the gym. Started my first workout on Sundays. What we do a lot right now is school basketball season, so a lot of kids come to the gym on the weekends. So Saturdays and Sundays is usually booming, but especially Sunday. I was in the gym and finishing up a workout, and his big cousin, our CEO, Spencer Richardson, he walked up to me and said, "Man, look at this." I'm like, "Man, get that away. I'm finna finish this workout, man. That's fake." He said, "No, for real." I said, "I want to see it from a reputable media source. Someone reputable, you know.
If Woj ain't reported it, it ain't real. It ain't real. Woj ain't reported it.
And a lot of people have said, you know, TMZ, they make sure they get their facts, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but that's still like...
Tabloid. That's tabloid.
It's still, thank you. It's still tabloid. So, like I said, Woj ain't said it, CNN, you know, the major media outlets haven't said it yet. But it's like, once I started gathering more information, I just realized that was 5 minutes after it literally just happened. So I was like, all right, you know, celebrity, NBA players, so many people was just tweeting and posting Instagram posts, and I'm like, maybe this is real. So I just was smacked with so much emotion, and I still had, you know, 15, 20 minutes left of my workout. So I'm breathe. Let me get this kid out of here, you know, because we had done just about everything except for stationary ball handling and spot shooting. So I was like, all right, I don't have to do, you know, a lot of movement. You know, I turned on Lil Wayne's Kobe Bryant song on SoundCloud and just knocked it out, man. We did some stationary ball handling, some spot shooting, and I just had emotions overcome, man. I had a group workout come in, you know, with my middle school boys, and you know, they all came in talking about it, and I was telling some parents, you know, how I feel about Kobe, and it's like, I really don't want to, you know, just get too much in depth into it because I get a bit emotional. So knocked those boys out and did a moment of silence and prayed, got a little choked up, you know, started hearing some sniffles from the boys, and it's like, okay, you know, these are 11 to 13-year-old boys, you know, and if they know the impact that Kobe had on the game, you know, that means that he reached not only our generation, but he's reaching the generations after. So yeah, yesterday was tough. Today's been tough, man, and it's just gonna be a process, man.
It is. It is, and you know, I think when you said about it's hitting the generations after us, like I don't recall in recent time of anything this big hitting the generations, you know, where we would be considered the generation after the generation it affected, except for maybe what I said at the mall when we was at the mall today, Princess Diana, really, as far as like our early on, and then because right after her maybe Tupac and Biggie, right after her, like so you got 3 of them right there in a row, but other than that, like none of us were really old enough to really understand the magnitude of it. But yeah, man, the fact that Kobe is hitting, you know, preteens now is like that man really did his job. You know what I'm saying? Mala G, what about you?
Yeah, same situation, man. Was in the gym, was doing the individual workout 1-on-1, and myself and Jamal and a couple of my other brothers, man, we in the group text, and one of my friends had put in the group text that, you know, Kobe had died. You know, so I kind of glanced and looked, and I'm like, nah, it's like, you know, because you know, we like to joke around a lot. I'm like, nah, they like, come on, man, don't pull a fast one. So had a little break in the workout, you know, go through and read, and you know, same thing, you know. It's like, man, now TMZ reported it, and I'm like, nah, I don't see that. So I got to see it for face value. You know what I'm saying? If it's, you know, like Malone mentioned, if it's not coming from a credible source, and it's just, I'm not gonna fathom. I'm not gonna believe that. And you know, just as time went along and more information started coming out, man, it really hit. And so what's funny, the parent of the kid that I was working out kind of just saw my demeanor and kind of just saw how I was in shell shock. Mm-hmm. And he was like, Coach, I can see it, I can tell, like, just if you need a moment, take a moment. I'll rebound for my daughter. You can go outside and just, collect yourself, get yourself together. Yeah, man, it really hit. And like Malone mentioned, man, it was very hard to process in the very beginning of it. It's just, a man of his stature almost seemed immortal.
Yeah.
And it almost seemed untouchable to a certain degree. And for that to happen to him, with his daughter on a plane with him, and then also all those other family members that was on that plane, it was just like, wow, it was eye-opening.
Mm-hmm.
And then so later on, so just try to keep it together through the most part, and because we had other kids come in and work out, and I'll never forget, this is probably one of the most touching moments of what happened yesterday. But it was a kid that came to our Sunday skills session, and he had gotten news of what happened to Kobe. Now, mind you, this kid is probably only 10, 11 years old, and I talked to his mother. This is my first time meeting his mother. And that was her first time ever coming to the Sunday skills session. And she was telling me after the workout that when he found out, like, he was in tears on the way to the gym. And she told me that, and then after the workout, he came and gave me a hug. And
that would have done it for me.
And when I embraced that kid, and he was like, Coach, he said, man, this was very hard for me, but just he was like, thank you just for for working me out. And I gave him a hug, man, and I just lost everything within me, man. Like, tears just, and I can just only think and imagine. The first thing I thought of was, Kobe, and in that moment in time, just, I'm pretty sure he held Gianna, those other family members holding their children, holding each other in those last moments. And as a parent to your child, your job is protection. Your job is comforting. Even in when things hit the fan and it's impossible, you just, in those moments, I just couldn't imagine, man. And so when I held that kid and he hugged me, man, it was just, I completely lost it. But yeah, man, it was, this is a very emotional time, for all. And I can only imagine what Vanessa and the other daughters are going through right now, and all those families, what they're going through. But
even his dad,
his mom, and
sisters, all
everybody. And
Vanessa's parents.
Absolutely. And I said this, man, and I said this really feels. I had the same feeling when Nip died.
Absolute same feeling. Yep.
Yeah, this is one that's gonna take time, but and I was at the gym, man, and then when it was everything with the workout, and I finished my day, I sat in the gym for about an hour, cut the lights off. I sat in the gym in silence, and I just shed tears, man, for Cole, for Gianna, for all those affected. It was real. It was real heartbreaking, and it was an emotional moment for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very. I mean, it was. I don't even know if there are like enough. I don't even know if there's like enough words in the like human language to describe like how we all feel. It's almost like a real deal, like gut check, bro. Like that's the closest thing that I can. That I can come up with. Gut check, just devastation and just heartache. One of my cousins, Dallas, he posted on his Facebook page. He really funny dude on Facebook, but like sometimes like when he says certain things, it's like he's serious. And he was like, ladies, if your big rough and tough dude is crying today, let him mourn because he just lost his childhood hero. Like, give him his space. Like, he literally just lost his childhood hero. And, you know, like I've been talking to all of y'all today, is like, you know, none of us were really old enough to appreciate Michael Jordan's greatness to the game that we all love so near and dear. So Kobe was our Jordan, you know, to the point to where he walked like him, talked like him, even chewed his gum like him, like everything, like top to bottom. Like that was, unless you're 35 and older, you're not really going to be able to appreciate Jordan the way that, say, our parents, our parents would be able to, or people our parents' age would. And so just really, really rough day, man. And, you know, before I kicked the ball to UAC and even to you, Zach, and let you talk some, like when I got the news, I had just gotten out of church. I was with Mama, and we were at Sugar Highs on Dickerson Road eating brunch. And I got a text message first, and it was a small, you know how like when you can like pull your notifications down, and you can like see if it's like a picture on the side. Like I saw that, and I saw it was really small, but you could just tell it was Kobe, and I was like, okay. And literally like seconds after that, that's when I got the same message, because all three of us are in the same group chat. That's when I got the message that may have been Kennard that had put in the group chat. Yeah. And that's when I was like, oh, this might not be real, but it got my attention. So that's when I pulled that notification bar back down, and I clicked on that text message that I got, and it said basketball legend. It was the TMZ picture of Kobe, like basketball, you know, legend dies at 41 in tragic helicopter crash. Again, just like what you two said, if Woj ain't reported it, Don Lemon from CNN ain't reported it, bro, like, yeah, I don't know. If Adam Silver ain't came on the screen or sent out a tweet or something, then I can't believe it until one of these credible media and press sources put it out. And like I just dropped everything, and I was just in utter shock, because shortly after, my phone just started ringing, just blowing up. And Mama looked at me, and she was like, what's wrong? Is everything okay? And I said, bruh, like, I said, this message says that Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash. And my mom had the exact same reaction that all of us had, like, not Kobe, bro, like not him. And anybody that knows my mama knows that the only reason she's in touch with basketball is because of me. Because she ain't never played. I may have seen her make one layup in my 30 years of living. My mama does not hoop, bro. She don't be hooping. Still love you, though. But the fact that, you know, I literally saw her entire demeanor and all of her energy just shift as well, from, you know, being happy and spending time with me, because she and I had, you know, had a couple of conversations about how I needed to, you know, spend more time, you know, with the family, you know, just kind of slow down. And that really just kind of started putting things into perspective, you know what I'm saying? And it just messed me up. As soon as I got done eating brunch, the goal was to finish eating brunch and then meet up with y'all at 3:30 at the gym, so that I could, because I wanted to be around for some of you all's individual workouts yesterday, because I had the time to. And man, like, just sucked all the life and the energy out of me, man. Just emotionally draining, headache instantaneously, all that, man. And the first thing I said when it said Kobe Bryant and 3 others, including the pilot, passed away, I said, well, thank God Vanessa and the kids wasn't on it. And then 20 minutes later, it was like allegedly Gigi Bryant was on that plane, on the helicopter with him. And I was like, dang, bro. Like, that's not the move. That's not what I was trying to hear. And just utter sadness, man, like instantaneous sadness. And, you know, I've pretty much told all the gentlemen in this room, like, man, I probably haven't cried like this since my dad passed away. I mean, I shed a couple of tears for Nipsey, but like it's different when the guy that you look to as the golden standard for something that you do goes away. And I compare him to Moses, bro. Like he literally like led our generation, and we grew up with him essentially. Like pretty sure all of us remember when Brandy took him to the prom. Like that's how long he been around. He been on the scene since he was 16. You know what I'm saying? 16, 17, and I'm 30. So that means he been around for over half of my life. He been around for, you know, well over half of my life. And it's just crazy, you know, watching somebody who you thought was immortal basically just prove that they are flesh and blood and bones, just like any of us.
Yeah.
You know, this man exercised to the elite level, and he ate right. You know, he wasn't out late night drinking, smoking, doing God knows what. You know, and it's just crazy because we oftentimes, I'm not gonna say it's wrong to question God, but I will say that I would be lying if that thought didn't come across my mind, like, you know, like,
Why him?
why him?
Why now?
You know, and I'm not wishing anything bad on anybody, but I think I'd be lying to all of my brothers in this room and whoever's watching or listening on Instagram or YouTube if I was like, well, you know, I can kind of name somebody that like the tweet he could have took instead. You know what I'm saying? You know, but it's just like where do we go from now? Yeah. So, but you know, that's where I was. I was at brunch, finishing up with my mom and getting ready to head to the gym, and that was how it impacted me. AC, what about you, little bro? I'm gonna move my thing because I don't know if you.
That's all good. I was on my way back home from church, and I'm just sitting in the car listening to who was I listening to? It may have been like Big Sean. I was listening to like Dark Sky Paradise, something like that, which is coincidental.
Yeah.
Listening to Dark Sky Paradise, and next thing you know, I get a text in the group chat talking about, man, y'all hear about Kobe?
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, what's up? He like Kobe died. I'm like, bro, not Kobe, bro. Like,
that's just the reaction.
Like Kobe, like you know, like you go on social media, like everybody trying to kill off celebrities. So I'm not thinking. As all y'all mention, you go, you research, and you see TMZ. TMZ is still tabloid, so it's like it can be hit or miss.
Right.
With that information. So I'm like, okay, cool. Next thing you know, I see Adrian Wojnarowski tweets, Kobe Bryant has died in a helicopter crash. Now I was like, wow, okay, so this is a real thing. So now, even as I receive that information, it's like, okay, how do I even process this? Like, I'm like, how can I even process this? Because this just don't seem real. Like, not Kobe, bro. Like, Kobe is somebody that, like, I've never been the avid Kobe fan, but I understand that me being fans of others was because of Kobe. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
That's
like,
a very, very.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I was a fan of Ray Allen because I wanted somebody to be Kobe. I was a fan of T-Mac, AI, Vince Carter because I needed somebody to be Kobe. Yeah. Kobe was the gold standard of basketball and hard work, bro. Yeah. All the way to the end of his career and post career. So it's like, bro, it's like the lives he impacted, bro. It's crazy. It's unfathomable to see somebody of that particular stature, you know, pass away. You know what I mean? And including his daughter, which was on to, you know, greater things than the families that, you know, were also on board. Mm-hmm. But it's like you think about like other like basketball legends, like they don't die tragically. Mm-hmm. Like
they normally
tragic. It's like old, like they typically die of old age, or sickness, or you know what I'm saying. So it's like a tragic event like that. It was so sudden. Like how can you process it? And a lot of people are processing that, and still are processing all of this stuff on the go. Yeah. So I'm really still learning how to grieve the situation because I ain't gonna say I've never, because Nipsey Hussle's another. I'm still probably haven't completely grieved. For real. You know what I mean? So it's just like, just to be able to, like, when stuff happens like that, like, I typically start looking in, like, internally and be like, okay, what am I to do? And then, like, how am I supposed to properly grieve? Because grieving is such a complicated process.
And there's no one recipe for it.
Nah, and you know what I mean? And it's and coming to self and being like, it is okay to grieve. No matter what people think about you, bro, like, it's okay to grieve and be able to come to acceptance. But coming to acceptance, that also takes time, bro. So, like, it's so many different things that run in my mind whenever something like this happens, because you also realize in your spirit that death of the flesh, you know what I'm saying, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. So I'm finding ways in my mind to rationalize everything going on, but the more I try to rationalize it, the more confused that I become. So I just,
it get deep
at the time, it's like, it's just really taking time to, like, truly, like, one, celebrate the life of the individual, but also be still. And being able to receive whatever is happening to you and accept it instead of avoiding it. I know I typically avoid my own emotions for the sake of being like, all right, somebody got to be strong. But man, the more you avoid it, the more you're thinking about it subconsciously, and the more it's going to pile up and it's just going to pour out unexpectedly.
Right.
So to be able to like be self-aware in a time like this, to something you truly can't explain clearly, you know, all of this stuff is it's just a process, bro. And being around your loved ones, if you have any dissension with any of your friends, family, anybody that you once considered close to, man, just, you know, I ain't gonna tell you what to do, because you're gonna do what you're gonna do anyway. But there's more comfort and love than dissension, bro.
Yeah.
It's more. I mean, love is, bro. That's what it's all about. And even in this, there's love in this particular situation somewhere. Yeah. But the answer is all internally. I'm not here to preach to you, but that's how you come to peace, because us wanting him back is a selfish thing. And the universe is no respect of person. It's no respect. It's just going to keep going. And knowing Kobe and his mentality, my mentality, he'd be like, y'all keep going. Yeah. It's all part of it. You see what I mean? Like, so just, you know, just finding the strength to keep going. But I tell you, it's tough whenever you see people that are close to him. You know what I'm saying? I saw a video that Shaq posted today, man, and he was playing Higher. The background song was Higher with that DJ Khaled song with Nipsey, man, and I broke down, bro. It's like dang. So it's just being able to still have that understanding and be able to be like, okay, let me go ahead and detox and cry this stuff out, man. Cause like being someone that's hooped pretty much all my life until recent memory, bro, it's like he was the epitome of hard work and what you needed to do to succeed. He was like, my formula is just completely just discipline myself. Yep. Sacrificing the temporary pleasure for the long term, bro. And like he was just that guy for it, bro. Like, and it showed even post career, like he was entering a whole totally different life, bro. But yeah, man, it's like, it's hard to like I said, like me, like Anton, flesh Anton is like, man, why did it have to be him? But my spirit is like, bro, things must continue to grow. Like, you know, things must like look inside of you and see Kobe within you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would Kobe do in that? You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, I find strength and comfort in knowing that, you know, what he'd want for everyone to do. You know what I'm saying? My condolences still go out to, it goes out to his wife, man, and the other three children, bro. Like, I can't, they just lost the father and the husband, man. Like, and then his parents and his sisters, man, a son and a brother. And then you look at like people that were extremely close to him, like Kyrie Irving, everybody that trained under him, man, and the girls that were waiting to be coached by him that day, bro.
Oh, y'all the kids that were at the gym waiting on him to get there, waiting on him to get there.
And then the little kid in the hood that got his Kobe basketball, and he's like, you find out the news, he's sitting on he's sitting on the porch just hugging the ball because like he's the only reason that he picked up the ball in the first place. Yeah. So he's just like grieving for so many. Oh, my bad.
You good, bro. Take your time, man. You good, man. You good, bro. It's tough, man.
Grieving for.
Yeah, it's really tough, man. It's really tough, man.
So many different people. My bad. And Jamal, whenever you told me about that kid hugging you, man, it just shows like something as simple as the sport of basketball can teach you so much about life.
Mm-hmm. That it can.
And to be able to touch so many lives, bro, and cross so many cultures, it's just like, man, I thank God for somebody like him that was often misunderstood while he was playing. But the more we grow as individuals, you start to realize the bigger picture.
Yep.
And he walked in that, man, and I'm very grateful to have experienced Kobe Bryant, man.
Yeah, that's about it, man.
You good, little bro? No, this is the whole point and purpose for this is to just release, because all of us in here, all five of us in here, Zach included, all of us are athletes. So we have all been groomed and trained to be fierce competitors whenever we step onto that court or onto that field. And the one thing about being an athlete and a competitor that they don't tell you about is that it's okay to have emotions. We're taught and we're groomed and conditioned to be tough all the time. All the time. And unfortunately, it's situations like this, or like when Nipsey passed away last year, where you see some of the toughest guys who battle it out on the field or on the court every day. You see them show a little bit of their human side, and you see them tap into their emotions, and it is okay to cry. It's okay to grieve. I think I sent a text message out today to a couple of people, and they was like, "How are you doing?" And my response was like, "I'm not okay, because this isn't how I normally move every day." I think I cried 4 times before I got in my car and went to work. Had to hit my bosses up and say, "Yo, like, I'm gonna need some time. Like, I'm gonna be slow getting in today. So if y'all expecting me there at 8:30, then it's curtains. Like, that's not happening." And my bosses, they text me right back and was like, "We understand. Take your time." And it's that type of reach that Bean had, to touch and to impact people. And Zach, when you jumped in our group chat at 28th and Jefferson, MassCtv group chat this morning, and you were talking about, how bad it was, and, how it hit you, like, especially by you being the only father in this room. Like, man, you probably could only imagine what it was like being on that helicopter and you having both of your little girls and then not being able to do anything but just wrap your arms around them, bro. Like that's a feeling that I don't think any of us could even imagine. Just those last moments, because like you said, AC, your job as a parent is to protect and to provide for your children. And what do you do for your offspring when you know that the inevitable is about to happen and there's nothing else that you can do? And so from that aspect, I just want to, if you want to jump into the video and whatnot, you can. If you want to stay back behind the cameras, what about you? What's your input and how you felt and where you were when you got the news?
Well, my church starts at 2 o'clock, and I was serving.
You go to evening service?
Yeah. Well, it's the only service.
Oh, okay.
I was serving, so I was doing like the security or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so my sister hit me talking about something else, and then said, "Hey, did you just hear about Kobe?" And I'm like, obviously, like, what's going on? She said he died. I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
And that is the resounding same like response. Like that's wild. It can't
saw
be.
Him yesterday. Like
basically, that's how it felt.
Just saw him live on TV yesterday. He's
right.
Not dead. He's alive.
I saw him when he posted when he hit send on this tweet on his IG
clearly
post.
Tripping.
Right.
And so she's in our family group chat. So my mom says we like the little Google. So it's like New York Post and this and that. And I'm like, I'm on ESPN, I'm on Sports Center, Bleacher Report. I'm like, ain't none of them posting this shit. This is not real.
Right.
It's not real. It's not happening.
It's a hoax.
Right.
That's what this is. The Kobe hoax.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Nobody ever asked me shit while I'm serving.
Right.
Nothing. But once it like settled and I realized, okay, this is real. All the questions like, where is this? Where is that? So I'm like, I couldn't really get into the mode of processing it until after service.
Yeah.
And then Angie jumps in the group chat at like 3:20 and says his daughter was on there with him.
Oh yeah.
And so like, I'm riding home with, because my kids aren't with me at church today. They're with my mother. And so I get there and I'm in it, but I haven't taken it all.
It's almost like an out of body experience. A little bit.
I wasn't. I haven't been able to feel it. I'm still in disbelief.
Yeah.
And it was very reminiscent of a friend I had to pass when I was in high school. We were one of my football teammates. We were at White's Creek in their pool, which I was in their pool the day before. Mm-hmm. And he was murdered that night. Mm-hmm. And so my cousin hit me and was like, same scenario, like he's dead. Like, I just saw this nigga.
We was just together.
He's not dead. Same name, wrong person. Mm-hmm. Get there, see everybody's face, and I sink. And that's kind of the same thing that happened with me. I started scrolling when I got over there and just seeing reactions, seeing basketball players like taking their moments, their 8 seconds, the 24s. Mm-hmm. And it was actually LeBron.
Him getting off the jet.
When I saw his image, I let it loose. I went to my old room at my mom's crib. Mm-hmm. The lights was already off. I closed the door, and I was gone. I just let it out. Yeah. And my daughter knocked at the door, asked me if I was okay. That did not help me at all.
Hey, I know that just sent you into a whole nother space, man.
Tried to reel it back in. Like, I'm cool. I'm good. My mom tells her to go downstairs. She comes in there and puts her hand on my back, and I can't stop. Yeah. It really hit me. I didn't even know I liked Kobe that much.
and that's the thing. That is the resounding thing, is that I saw so many people who was like I ain't even a fan of this dude, and this dude got me shook. But that's how you know you have I'm gonna say intergalactical reach. Yeah. It's like when you are affecting people, basically the same way Nipsey was. Like, none of us gangbang.
Right, I'll be right back.
These two, well, actually, you know what? I might be the only one that don't rap at this table, but it's almost like it's one of those situations where you respected that person and what they meant to the culture so much. Yeah. And now, unfortunately, due to all of our own selfish wants, we can't have what other gems they may be able to offer to the game. I was gonna tell you might want to just go on and grab a couple more tissues if that's what you went out there to get.
I'm good, bro.
You good? You back in the game, champ?
I'm back, man.
And look, man, let it out. That's what this is for, man. Let it out.
Yeah, man.
And it's just one of those things, man, where like Kobe number 8 Kobe was the child. And when he shifted from 8 to 24, it was almost like we literally saw a child shed his child's skin, and he literally turned into a grown-ass man. Yeah. Like, literally. And I guess my thing is, and my mom even brought it up, she was like, man, Kobe, he just fought and fought and fought. And of course, my mom being married for, as many years as she was married to my dad before he passed away, I already knew what lane she was getting ready to go down. She was like, but man, he fought and fought and fought. She was like, through all of his transgressions, through all of his imperfections, the one thing that nobody will ever be able to say about Kobe is that he wasn't a fighter. Mm-hmm. And what it feels like is that all of us, not only just in the basketball community, but especially the black male community, we lost what arguably, if we just really sit down and think about it, we lost who arguably could have been our greatest warrior and leader for every phase of life. How to conduct yourself as a professional, how you need to be as an athlete, what you should be as a son, a brother, a father, a coach. Y'all rap. I make the beats. Even this, we forget this. Like, bro, even tried his hand at rapping and making music for a little bit.
It really wasn't bad, actually. I listened to him. Like,
he wasn't bad. We ain't gonna lie. We just knocked him because, like you said, it was Kobe.
It was like
we just
Kobe,
had to have another reason
to knock Kobe.
him.
God.
Yeah, we just had to have another reason to knock him. But I also feel like at the age of 41, none of us in here are close to that. But I feel like at the age, it's not that far away. It's not that far away, but we ain't exactly like next year.
But you think about it, bro. Like, me and Zach have discussed this before. Like, he was young, bro. Like, as an adult, bro. I'm 28. I'm only 10 years old as an adult. So he was still growing into his own. He was just a young adult. 23.
Yep. And
he was young, bro.
And the crazy thing is I remember one of the things that my dad told me before he passed away, just in retrospect to my skill set, and also all five of our fathers are in our lives, so we definitely are blessed to have that. And I'm pretty sure that all five of our fathers have planted this seed inside of us at some point in time too. But the one thing that my dad told me one time before he passed away, he said, Pat, there's not anything that you don't do well. And at first there was a lot of don'ts in there, but I had to break it down. And Kobe was that. There wasn't a single thing that he did that he didn't do exceptionally well.
Yep.
And at the age of 41, half of his life on the basketball court, and he was just getting ready to start, as President Obama said, his second act. Mm-hmm. And he already had an Oscar, was already working on the movies and Oscar. He had an Oscar and an Emmy. On your first swing, bro, your first crack at it, you get an Oscar and an Emmy. And I don't think that they gave that to him out of pity or for him retiring.
They laughed at him when he wanted to approach.
Initially they did. Yep. Initially they did laugh at him because a lot of people was like, bro, you weren't that good of a rapper. Right. And that was the approach that they took. Like you're not like Tupac or nothing like that. Yeah. And what did he do? The same way how they laughed at him about that. They laughed at him about coming into the league as a 17-year-old kid. I want to be the best to ever do it. Man, you little kids, you ain't gonna be able to do it.
He was relentless, man.
Relentless, bro. That's what I'm saying. He had the spirit of a warrior.
And, man, I think with him transitioning, bro, it opened up a lot of people's eyes to where, man, like, you really got to do the work. Like,
you have to.
You really have to do the work, and I'm not talking about just only outside, but in here too, bro.
Absolutely.
Because without you working in here, your eyes aren't even open to receive what you can do out here.
Right.
You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he knew. I was like, okay, he already knew. He fueled off of people down him.
Yeah.
So he's the only one that had the audacity to be like, I want to be better than Jordan. And I'm going to show y'all I'm going to be better than Jordan.
Yeah,
he's the only one that had the audacity to do it. Everybody else was like, oh, Jordan. He was like, man, bro, I will bust your ass. Yes, Jordan, and he told Jordan, I will bust your ass.
Yeah.
He was the only one that had the balls to do it. Just like he was going to do the same thing in his second act, bro.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, y'all going to laugh at me. I'm going to call J.K. Rowling. I'm going to call who's over Apple. I'm going to call this person right here. Yep. And I'm going to work.
Yep.
And the more he worked, 100% of the time he succeeded.
Yep.
Because he didn't view failure as something. Failure didn't exist to him.
Yeah, that was just a part of it. That was a part of the success story.
Yeah, but failure didn't exist. That's what I saw when I was working out today. Whenever I was looking at YouTube, It was he was talking about like how failure like don't exist. It's just whatever happens today, have an opportunity to learn from it and try it again tomorrow.
Yep.
Learn from it, try again tomorrow.
Yep.
So it was just like, bro, like he just got it. He understood, bro.
I think the thing that I really appreciate about Kobe and his transition and his evolution. I think over time he started to be a little bit more vulnerable. He started to, you know, as a competitor, as a basketball player, you know, you're, like you mentioned, Pat, you're wired to hide your emotion in terms of your raw feelings, and being stone cold and being a killer and an assassin, which we all appreciate. But, you know, the thing that I had time to really reflect on and really think about with Kobe was his ability to be at peace with his career and not allowing, you know, basketball to define him as a person, but he defined the game for who he was. And it was a prime example of that with LeBron passing him the night before to be the third all-time leading scorer in NBA history, and having that conversation with LeBron after the game, and hearing, you know, all his teammates being in the moment and being in the presence of Kobe, just passing the torch to LeBron and genuinely being happy for him, because I know for a long period of time that, you know, media, barbershop talk, just, you know, basketball savants and fans, just Kobe versus LeBron, and it's easy, and it's easy, you know, as a competitor to get caught up in, you know, he passed my record and he, you know, nobody's gonna break my record. But Kobe, you know, when he retired and when he's, you know, like you guys mentioned, elocuted so well in terms of falling into his second act, and the ability for him to be at peace, knowing that he left everything on the floor and being content and okay with passing the torch to guys that cherished and valued the game the same way that he did. Right. And then taking that passion and pouring it into his children, pouring it into the youth, and pouring it into, you know, other endeavors, and just being a family man. I think we saw a layer of Kobe that
we had never seen
exposed
before,
to, in which, you know, honestly, truth be told, he had to sacrifice that. And it was funny, man. I watched the interview of with Isaiah Thomas, and Isaiah Thomas stated that a lot of the greats, a lot of the legends, in whatever sport, whatever field, one thing that they have in common is that they apologize, and they apologize to their loved ones. They apologize to people in their circle, because knowing that in their pursuit of greatness, you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice time. You're going to have to sacrifice moments and memories, and there's a lot, and that is so much to be. It's so much to be said, and there's so much to be felt within that. Right. And so for me, man, I really appreciated Kobe from being able to, one, you know, be the competitor that he was, and his demand of excellence, and just his mind, and just his thought process of, like, nothing was out of reach for Kobe. And that inspired me to taking a risk and leap of faith of doing what I'm doing now, and being able to bring people along, like, you know, Jamal and Pat, and connecting with people like, you know, Anton and Zach, man. But then too, man, just seeing Kobe actually be Kobe the dad, Kobe the, you know, the entrepreneur, Kobe the
coach,
savant,
Kobe the
coach.
coach.
I would never thought being with a coach,
like,
bro.
Ever.
The mentor, and just, you know, and much love to Kobe, man, for being such a huge advocate for women's basketball.
Absolutely.
With us, with myself, Pat, and Coach Malone being involved in the women's game, and just seeing some of the indifferences that they have to battle and go through, and Kobe just being hands-on and being a steward and being just a forefront leader and speaking up for women's basketball and just being a spokesperson for it, man. Like, it was truly, man, just a blessing to see him, a guy of his stature and magnitude, be able to speak out for women, and for the women's game as a whole, because he was one of the first ones that I known to say that there are some women that could play in the NBA
and hold their own.
And he started calling them names.
Yeah, and to the honest to God truth, that is an absolute fact.
That is a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
There's a lot of women out here that can, excuse my language, that can bust some men's ass. Period.
Yep.
But yeah, man. That's the thing that I take away from Kobe, and I would define, last thing, my defining moment of Kobe Bryant. Not even relating to his performances on the court. I mean, that so many Herculean efforts and Herculean moments that he's had, but the profound moment that I had was listening to Ramona Shelburne talk about her interaction with Kobe in his last game when he scored 60, and he said, she asked, what did you do? What did you do? And after the game, and he said she said it was scripted, like it was just, he already had it planned out, but he went home, ate pepperoni pizza with his kids, they watched movies, stayed up until 3:30. He went to sleep. He woke up at 7 a.m. and the first thing he did, he went to church. And he went to church by himself, and he just wanted to thank God for his career. Thank God for his longevity. Thank God for his influence. And to me, I think that defines Kobe's legacy. Not the 81-point game, not the
run of 60 games,
60 points, and not the stretch 15-plus games. We scored 40-plus, and being a 5-time NBA champion, Olympic gold medalist, the list goes on and on. Yeah. For me, that was the most heartfelt and probably the most memorable thing that I will always remember about Kobe. And so that's just, man, much love to Kobe, much love to Gianna and to all that are affected. Kobe, man, hey, it's, like I said, man, I have memories taking a paper ball in class, shooting at the trash can.
Kobe. You wasn't calling nobody else's name but Kobe.
That's all you was calling, bro.
Much love, 824, man.
Man, it's crazy. Now, before we go to Jamal, my bad. I just wanted to, I forgot to touch on this. It's like, once more he started to open up, he displayed so much humility, bro. Like, I didn't realize how humble dude really was. You know what I mean? When it came to real life stuff. So I'm just grateful to see. I was able to see that side of him, man. Like, he just understood. He was also a very selfless individual when it came to dealing with others, man. It's just crazy. It's dope, man, to be able to see that, because throughout his career, he was like, man, nah, I'm that guy. And then once he left, bro, he really left it all out there. He literally left it all. So yeah, man.
That was a really good transition, because I was actually gonna ask, as we get ready to wrap up this special edition of the 28th and Jefferson podcast, I was just gonna kick the ball around the table and just ask everybody to just kind of pinpoint on what their defining moment that stuck out with them, whether it was something he did as we were children, or something that we did, or something that he did as us as grown men. And
well, I'm sure I'm probably the only lifelong Lakers fan sitting here. It's been tough, but we've had glory days as well. I started as a Lakers fan. I remember, I'll never forget it, man. Kindergarten, 5 years old, 1992, man. All-Star Weekend was at February. My birthday is in August. As a 5-year-old, what do I want to do for my birthday? Invite all my family and friends and watch the All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Me and my dad used to watch basketball all the time.
6 months later,
My
though.
dad put the game of basketball in my life. 3 years old, you know, he was coaching, doing what we do, coaching the neighborhood kids and, you know, playing against the city kids or whatever. But I'll never forget, I had a Ninja Turtle cape. But what we did, we went to Den and watched Magic, you know, that year that, you know, as a 5-year-old, we didn't know all about that. All I knew is it was this kid that this guy that me and my dad watched play basketball. He wasn't playing anymore, but then they let him come back. And then that summer, Dream Team. You know, so it's like, oh my gosh, I'm 5 years old. I got more basketball in the summertime. My birthday rolls around. I want to watch all that stuff again. So, you know, a couple years later, 96 rolls around. It's like, all right, got the Lakers starter jacket, you know, feeling myself. You know, got the Orlando starter jacket. You know, being from the M, you know, Penny, man, got the Orlando starter. And I had a Bulls starter jacket. B.J. Armstrong is family. That's bloodline. So it's like,
I remember you telling me that. That's if I'm mistaken, that's Rashid's favorite basketball player.
B.J. Armstrong?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's, you know, and it's crazy. I hadn't seen B.J. in 15 years, so we ran into him at the Grind Week, at Draymond Green's Grind Week last summer.
I remember you telling me that.
But growing up, you know, I was just always twisted. I got family for the Bulls. Yeah. I got hometown hero. But then I'm a Lakers fan, though. You know, so it's like Kobe came into the league and I was like, wow, who is this guy?
That's my dude.
You said, I watched him his entire career. Like, I modeled my game after I idolized Kobe Bean Bryant, man. Like, I started researching before all this social media and stuff came out. I started researching him, man. Find out, like AC alluded to earlier, like, he wanted to be better than Mike. So much, like you said as well, he did everything Mike did. He walked like him, talked like him, chewed his gum. Like Mike had a Ferrari, Kobe wanted a Ferrari. You know, oh, this is a car Mike got. I want to get the same car.
That's real.
You know, so it was like I try to tell people that so many times, and like Maul said as well, so many people wanted to compare Kobe, Kobe, LeBron, Kobe, Mike. It was just so much. It's like, why can't we allow greatness to be great? You know, and it's me just being a Lakers fan first, Kobe fan second. Once they won that first championship, I was like, my team went in. Won it again. Then again. After that 3P, couldn't tell me nothing. Couldn't tell me nothing. And Shaq left, of course. It was tough, man. You know, got it from my friends, started getting it from my family. It was just tough. But I still roll with my Lakers, man. And then, like you said, his work ethic is what separated him from everybody else. He was like, he wanted to prove, number one, I can be the best. Number two, I can be the greatest without Shaq. Everybody said,
he can't do it without
Kobe averaged 29 a game.
He did.
Playing with Shaq.
He did.
Who averaged 30 a game. So it's like, it's not carry like, we A and B.
We carrying each other.
Yeah, 1A, 1B. So it's like, it was just amazing to see how hard he worked to be great. And like I said, me being, you know, a basketball player as well, I just wanted to be like Kobe on the court, man. And then as y'all said, man, just watching him transform into his second act. You know, I love the game of basketball. You know, I'm fortunate, like Marley talked about earlier, to take that leap of faith and be able to be around the game of basketball on a daily basis and impact lives. But I have other interests as well. So not only as a basketball student, fan, teacher, player, savant, I have other interests. So it's like just seeing Kobe dive into his other interests that just let a light bulb go off. It's like, I can excel and be great at this game and this sport that I love and compete at. And like I said, he was vulnerable after, because you couldn't be vulnerable on the court.
You can't.
He was destined for greatness. He was destined to be the best ever. He didn't allow guys to get close to him. That's why, like Mike, people used to always say Mike an asshole. To be the best, you can't allow people into your circle like that.
No room for advantages.
So Kobe wanted to be just like Mike. So people are unaware. Mike used to have, you know, fight with his teammates during practice. You know, he would punch, you know, some of the guys that didn't play to the standard that he would like. You know, that's why, you know, the whole Dwight Howard coming back. You know, Maul told me that Dwight Howard would have a better time in LA playing with Bron than it would with Kobe because their leadership styles are different.
Yep.
You know, Kobe, he led like Mike led. You're not playing like you need to be playing. Your ass might not only not play, your ass might not be here.
You might not be here.
You might not be here.
You might not be here.
On the way to the visual. Real quick, and then I'm gonna close up. Me and Maul read this quote from Lou Williams. He said they was getting blown out by Portland. That 1 year Lou played in LA. He said they was getting blown out by Portland. Kobe talked to everybody in the locker room and said, "Take my damn shoes off." Everybody had on Kobe's. "You cannot wear my shoes.
And we get
y'all too damn soft." I was like, that sound like Kobe being Bryant.
Sound like some people say.
You can't play to the standard of me. Take my shoes off,
you can't
man.
wear
So
me, bro.
it was just like I said. My defining moment for Bean, man, is just his work ethic, man. His discipline. Like when I was an educator in the classroom and as a coach and a trainer on the court, I always lead my gym with discipline, man. I tell parents that, I tell players that, you know, in order to be successful on the court, in order to be successful as a student, it starts with discipline. You know, those long nights, you know, where you don't want to get your homework done because you just had a game or practice or whatever the case may be. You got to go. You got to go get your studies on the court. You know, in order to be great, in order to eclipse a certain amount of points or get a certain amount of rebounds or win, you know, the ultimate goal is winning. You gotta be disciplined. So if you're not disciplined as a player, as a student, you know, I'm talking to my kids right now, but now in the workforce as adults, if you're not disciplined and setting that alarm to be able to get up and go punch that clock, you know, for my entrepreneurs like us, and we don't have to punch the clock, if we're not disciplined enough, you know, to take care of our bodies and, you know, do what needs to be done to get our ample amount of rest, to go do what we need to do on a daily basis, you're not going to be able to survive out here. So that was just amazing to watch, you know, for the 20 years that he played. And then after, just seeing him be disciplined in another realm. And, of course, on the court, it was just amazing to watch year after year. You know?
Yeah. I'm gonna add one more moment. I'm just gonna shed light on Gigi. You know, I think Gigi, we all know, was on her way to be.
Oh yeah, she was on her way
to be one of the best. I think when Vanessa was pregnant with their youngest, and
newborn,
you know, they was congratulating Kobe. Hey, you know, Kobe, and congratulations, man. You know, Kobe Jr. He gonna carry the legacy. And Kobe mentioned that Gigi. But I don't need no son. I was like, that's my responsibility.
That's me.
I'm gonna carry the legacy, and the, you know, and Gigi had that at 13 years old, had that patent in Kobe fadeaway at 13, man. So I think, you know, Gigi, man, she was definitely just a bright shining star. Was on her way to being just something phenomenal. And again, with us, you know, coaching, you know, on the women's, you know, basketball, girls basketball, like, you know, she was going to be one of those cornerstone elements to really elevate the game of women's basketball and just basketball as a whole, as a period. So, you know, but it's, you know, selfishly, it's unfortunate that we not able to see her fulfill that. But, you know, we're just blessed and fortunate that she served her time and she did exactly what she was supposed to while she was here on earth. And, so just much love to Gigi, man. Just want to to her and her teammates and the Mamba, Mamba team. God bless all of them, for sure. Yeah.
Zach, you got a defining moment you want to share?
I'll let you roll, man.
Okay. Hey, see, we'll let you go, and then I'll bring us on in home, and we'll close it on out, man.
Yeah, besides everything that you guys, you know, talked about, man, it's just really his embodiment of, like, excellence, bro. Like, in all facets, bro. Like, what guy at 37 years old scored 60 points in his last game? Like, you can't write a better
Not at the YMCA, the NBA.
You can't write a better story.
You can't write a better
But besides that, it's like his attention to detail, and what Jamal touched on is his discipline, bro. Like all of that, it comes full circle, and he understood that what he did off the court was going to feed on to his, you know, on court performance. So he understood that, okay, if I'm waking up, if I'm waking up at 4 in the morning and my opponents are waking up at 8 in the morning, I'm already at a 4-hour advantage. And after a certain amount of time, 2 years, 3 years of me going by doing the same thing, and they're doing the same thing, the gap is wide.
It's going to get wider.
So no matter how hard you work, I'm still going to be better.
So
I'm putting
far
more work in. And like that alone, like I appreciate his wisdom and attention to detail to that, because it's like it inspired me to know, like, okay, if he can do it, I can do the same thing. So like just his embodiment of just who he was, bro, is my greatest memory of Kobe Bryant.
What about, real quick before you end, Pat, him going up to the line after he ruptured
that Achilles, bro? And that's what I was talking about, just the spirit of a warrior, bro. Like,
you know, Big Cuz talked about it at the gym
last night
because he ruptured his. But then other people that have just had Achilles soreness. Not ruptured, just soreness.
Just sore. Just a tweak.
Just talk about how much it hurts and how they can barely walk. This man ruptured his. Got up. Let me go knock these free throws.
Let me go ice both of them.
He said that, like, man, when it came to injuries, because people forget the year they lost to the Celtics, he had two
broke fingers,
bro.
Yep.
And he said,
kneecap bones, bro.
Yeah, he's like, he said, man, whenever, like, I was so focused on winning, the injuries didn't matter. The cause was bigger than the injury. So it's like, bro, it's like that type of dedication, bro. It's just, that type of dedication and sacrifice, bro, is like that. I mean, he's the gold standard for a reason, bro. Like, he is, bro. Like, there's nobody that's unmatched. I haven't seen anybody match that, bro.
Yeah. Like I said out in the hallway before we came into the studio, you know, Michael Jordan, I think, unanimously is kind of revered as the greatest basketball player of all time. But like you said, AC, if we were just to compare training and preparation regimen, Kobe would outshine him as the greatest competitor that there may have ever been. You know, we all know Mike liked to gamble. Mike liked to drink and smoke a little bit. You know, he liked to dibble and dabble. He had his vices, and he allowed his vices to kind of sort of, I'm gonna say, kind of hamper him a little bit from what maybe he could have been. You know, could we imagine what Michael Jordan would be had he had Kobe's discipline?
And Mike got bored too.
And Mike did get bored
from the game
because it was just too easy.
It was too easy.
It was just instinctual for him to win. Like that's the thing.
I'm gonna try to be a pro in something else.
Right.
But not like Kobe's. Like Kobe said,
like,
I want to go succeed at something that all the doubters, you know, because everybody always doubted him already.
Right.
I want to go.
Mike didn't have no doubt like that. Right.
Nah, of course not.
Right.
I mean, no disrespect to Mike. Like, he is great, but he went to go play another sport. Kobe was like, I'm gonna go write a book.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go create a short film.
Yeah, I'm gonna write a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
I'm not gonna release a retirement statement. I'm gonna release a retirement film and poem. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna win an Oscar and an Emmy for it.
Yeah, bro.
You know, it's, and I think that is, you know, as it finally starts to sink in and it starts to settle in for all five of us in here as competitors, I just kind of feel like that is the one thing that I will be able to cherish in my defining moment for Kobe is just to kind of tie everything in that all of us have said, was that if we were to look at who our parents want us to be, who, if any of us ever get, you know, married, who our wives would want us to be, if any of us besides Zach were to have children, who our kids would want us to be, you know, the three of us, we all coach together. This is what, year number 8? When we start 2012 together? So this is year number 8 for the three of us coaching together. You know, he's who our kids that we coach on a daily and weekly and, you know, yearly basis, he basically embodied what being the master and the captain of your own fate and destiny looked like, and making sure that everybody you touched felt that. From him being so disciplined to him being so detailed. The only other person that I know of, you know, or at least that plays basketball, that is as detailed as him, and you know, LeBron, and then maybe in third place, maybe Jason Kidd or Rondo, you know. But it's just like what you've been saying literally since yesterday. He is the golden standard, almost, of what it means just to be a black man that wears so many hats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this man, you know, because none of us have even mentioned the soccer player in him.
Yeah, it's like
That's that European.
You know, the European side of him being
The languages, you know.
The dude was the dude
four
was crazy.
languages. I mean, his brain was so special. And like I told both Jamals when we were at Cool Springs, I think the thing that hurts most of us, I think the thing that's really hurting most of us about Kobe, and even with guys like Nipsey, is that they understood it and they got it at such a young age, and unfortunately they left us before we were able to gather and get all the gems that they had packed inside of their head.
That's what it is. Like,
That's the hurting part.
We're at the brink of their real greatness.
Their real greatness, not what Nipsey did on the stage, and not what Kobe did on the court, but what it's like to do the things that you just like doing.
Mm-hmm.
Past that, we were on the brink of witnessing those two kings.
In the blocks, like it's before the race really starts.
Bruh, they literally were just fresh out of the gate. And their strides that they had them just running laps past people. And like what I told you all at the mall, it wasn't that they was just running laps past people, but they was running laps past people and reaching back.
Yeah.
Making sure that they brought their people along with them. Yeah. And I think that's the part that hurts me the most as I get ready to wrap this up, man. You know, anybody that knows me knows that I'm diehard LeBron, diehard D-Wade, T-Mac fan, Allen Iverson, but all of those guys will always tell you that their hardest guy to guard was always Kobe. That man had each one of those players, each player in the NBA, each one of us here in this room has a little piece of number 8 and number 24 in our game. And if we approach life and the things that we enjoy doing, our friends, our family, just anything, if we approach it with that same headspace that Kobe had, especially once he finally figured it out and accepted who he was as a person,
Bingo.
You will smile and you will be happy like forever. Because since that man has been retired, this is the happiest I think all of us have seen.
Bingo. Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, what we all out here chasing, we all out here running that constant race in pursuit of happiness, if we just being all the way 100, you know. So with that being said, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in for this special impromptu edition of 28th and Jefferson. You see we got the Lakers, the special edition Kobe hat. We got the Kobe's, the Kobe ones. I got my Kobe's on. So we don't have our red cups, but you know we just gonna toast and AC pull up. You need one, Zach?
We're good. My
All
bad.
right.
So we just
mine.
R.I.P. Kobe, man.
man.
Give your flowers to your
give
people
them to 'em while they still here, man.
Real.
While they
Flowers
still
to your
here,
people,
man. So
the beam.
yeah, and that right there also too is how you know who really been with Kobe a long time, because the new folks call him Black Mamba, but if you've been around for a long time, you call him Jelly Bean or you call him Bean, because that was his real nickname.
Cold.
Way back in the day.
That's what the hoopers call him, man.
Cold.
Just took the E off. I remember in college, man, just saying it's like cold. That sounds cool.
Go with that.
We put in work.
You can do that.
Oh man.
So man.
Put in work too for him.
So we just gonna toast it up one good time, good brothers, man, and I appreciate y'all for just releasing and
I appreciate y'all for having us, man.
No problem, man. Love y'all boys, man. So that's it, y'all. Until next time, we got a special episode coming up. Guest on 28th and Jefferson before we leave. Give everybody y'all's social media handles.
Oh, okay. Follow me. You hear me?
Yeah.
It's your boy at Debonair Dub. Debonair, Mr. Debonair. Stylish, charming.
Oh my God.
Confident. That's what Debonair means.
DEBONAIRDUBB at Devin and Dub on IG. You know, nothing else I don't be on.
Yeah, he's on Black Singles Meet as well. Yeah, make sure y'all hit him up.
But holla at me though.
So holla at me, man. I'm on IG at AAG Basketball 10. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep putting it in, man. Mama mentality for life.
Facts.
Yep.
Facts.
AC?
ACNOEL, man. Get hip or just get on with your life, man.
We're cold at rapping.
Yep.
We're cold at rapping.
Yeah.
Cold now.
Man.
And of course, follow us at 28th and Jefferson Podcast. Also follow the network at MassCtv. Y'all know me, Schoolboy P. Also follow the squad, Creative Socialite Group.
He your architect. He throw
CSG.
parties. He your trainer. What else you do? You cook.
Man, look, my wrist game hard out there
That's
now.
what I'm saying. See, he
Wrist
do it
game
all.
hard. Oh, made my acting debut on the Wit series. Y'all be
Man,
sure to
yeah,
follow that. See, y'all ain't know I acted too.
He a carpenter. He fix houses.
I do
he fix
it all,
cars,
bro.
He a mechanic.
Do it all, man. We appreciate y'all, man. We holler at y'all on Wednesday.
man.
Chill.
Bingo.
We finna pray.
Dear Holy Father, I just thank you for this opportunity. Just thank you for this brotherhood. Just thank you for allowing us this process of grieving and being able to heal as well. We just want to pray for Kobe, for Gianna, for all the victims that lost their lives in the tragic accident yesterday. I just want to pray for Vanessa and her children and all the families and friends and loved ones that were close to those people that passed, and praying that the world just sends them love, it sends them strength. Knowing God, I couldn't imagine just the pain and suffering and hurt and just questions that they may have right now. But God, we won't question you. We will not wonder, but we will just trust and just believe and have faith that you have them covered. And knowing that all of them, all of the victims are with you right now in your heavenly kingdom. And selfishly that we miss them not being here with us in the physical realm, but that we celebrate. We celebrate their journey, we celebrate their mission and their purpose, and knowing that they have received your job well done, and that they are in your hands, and they leave, and that they fly peacefully, and that they still remain close to everyone, close to their loved ones, more importantly. And it's just praying for the world. I know the world was impacted by this, and a lot of people that were inspired and encouraged and motivated by Kobe, by Gianna, and by all of those victims, God. And I just pray that you just give them strength as well. Give us strength, give us healing, give us love and comfort, and that we just take this process day by day. Just continue to keep us close, continue to protect us, and that we just become appreciative, that we just appreciate the little things. At times we think that within our daily lives that we are immortal, that nothing can happen to us, but at any moment, at any time, we are out of control of that realm. But we can control and spread love, and we can control how we react and how we respond to things and let things go and just control ourselves. That's one thing that we can do. So Father God, we just want to just celebrate Kobe, celebrate all those people, again, that lost their lives, and we just uplift them, just to glorify them and just to say thank you for their presence and their time here. And just more importantly, God, we just thank you for all that you do for us on a day-to-day basis, and we just give it all back to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. It's signing day.
Yes, sir. Signing day, man. Signing day.
It's signing day.
I'm saying sign that contract with MassCtv, man. 28th and Jefferson Pie. Heard.
Gotcha.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, cool. It's your boy Jamal Richardson, man, coming to you live from MassCtv, 28th and Jefferson Podcast, representing all around game basketball, man. Just want to show love to my brothers and sisters of 28th and Jefferson Podcast and MassCtv. Man, want to send love and condolences to Kobe, to Gigi, and to all the victims. May God bless you. May God keep you. And, it's always love to be in the house of MassCtv and 28th and Jefferson, man. So shout out to them. Keep providing, keep spreading your platform. Much love.
It's your boy, Jamal Malone, man. Represent all around gang, Team Brandon Wright. Bigger than basketball. Man, I appreciate the opportunity to be here to discuss and talk about and celebrate and show love to, one of the greatest basketball players ever. One that I looked up to and, role model of mine, somebody that I idolize. And, just the loss of, his daughter as well as the other families on board, and especially the young ladies. And shout out to 28th and Jefferson for having us, man. MassCtv, AC, Zach, Pat, man, appreciate y'all, man. I was just thinking like it was just an honor to just be my first podcast and to talk about, Kobe Bean Bryant, tragically passed, but it was an honor to be here to discuss his life and his journey, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Kobe.